Derzeit wird nichts.
Currently, nothing is being pursued so vigorously as the United Nations Agenda 2030 with its infamous Sustainable Development Goals. This worldwide project aims to completely change every aspect of human livelihood: food, sexuality, family, work, finances, health, education, absolutely everything. With arguments seducing the peoples, like ending poverty, hunger, inequality, illness, and other terrible things. But we must not trust these good-sounding intentions. A former top UN official who worked for the United Nations for 2 decades warns that the UN is controlled by criminals who use the UN to enrich themselves and enslave humanity. When we take a closer look into the plans of the UN and the WHO, especially on the subject of sexuality, the new guidelines that are just being issued to all nations are even more than worrying. European Parliament member Marcel de Graaf from the Netherlands finds clear words for this.
There's something fundamentally wrong with people in organizations, governments, and international institutions when they pursue legalization and acceptance of sex with children, when they even promote sex with children with millions of subsidies, or when they want to force the sexualization of children.
According to him, the European Union also subsidizes performances by transvestites and transgenders in kindergartens with millions of euros. Simultaneously, the UN published a document which on one hand aims to legalize sex with children, and on the other hand, by means of the Self-Determination Act, allows children to remove their genitals. The World Health Organization and the United Nations direct all kindergartens and elementary schools worldwide to teach masturbation to small children. They advise children to use pornography and distribute posters in schools encouraging children to engage in homosexual acts with their classmates. Recommended books teach young children about oral sex. These are the opening words of a very comprehensive report aired by the internet platform Stop World Control, entitled "Children Must Have Sexual Partners: The UN Agenda to Normalize Pedophilia." This report, as comprehensively summarized here by KLA-TV, provides conclusive evidence on how the previously mentioned programs are part of an international operation to normalize pedophilia.
The document Standards for Sexuality Education in Europe, published by the WHO, contains following instructions for kindergartens and elementary schools. Children between 0 and 4 years must learn about masturbation and develop an interest in their own and other bodies. Children between ages 4 and 6 must learn about masturbation and be encouraged to express their sexual needs and desires. Children between the ages of 6 and 9 need to be educated about sexual intercourse, online pornography, secret love, and self-stimulation. Children between 9 and 12 should have their first sexual experience and learn to use online pornography.
The World Health Organization instructs teachers worldwide to explain to 9-year-old children how to have sexual intercourse for the first time, how to experience sex with the help of internet and cell phones, and how to learn various sexual techniques. Yes, valued viewers, you heard correctly. In fact, we're talking about children who have just recently learned how to tie their shoes on their own or are still playing with their doll kitchens. In a next document published by the United Nations, the title is International Technical Guidance on Sexuality Education. This is the official guide for elementary schools around the world. The goal of this document is described on page 16. It aims to empower young children to engage in sexual relationships. On page 17 of the document, the United Nations states that this guide is intended to help young children form relationships with romantic or sexual partners. On page 71 of the same document, teachers are instructed to teach young children from the age of 5 and older about kissing, hugging, touching, and various sexual behaviors. 9-year-old children should be taught about masturbation, sexual attraction, and sexual stimulation. The Rutgers Foundation is the Dutch Center for Sexuality, and similar to the well-known Planned Parenthood organization, they operate in 27 countries around the world to provide sex education, ensure access to contraception, and provide abortion services. They are partners with the WHO as well. Rutgers has released a video that is a part of European school programs. It shows young children being encouraged to masturbate. The plan is to include this video in school curricula worldwide. In the Netherlands, WHO and UN guidelines are already being implemented by Rutgers. The following information shows that Rutgers has always been at the forefront of the global pedophilia movement. Rutgers published a report by the known pedophile Theo Zandvoort, as well as collaborating with the Fritz Bernhard Foundation, which had an extensive collection of child pornography. Rutgers went on to sign a petition for the legalization of sex with children. They published a magazine in which a 6-year-old masturbated, a 9-year-old watched porn, and a 5-year-old performed oral sex. Rutgers also instructs teachers to ensure that children begin sex practices as early as possible. A children's book is recommended by Rutgers that encourages young children to engage in oral sex. Rutgers Elementary School curriculum states that young children should know all about sexual desire, physical arousal, and intimacy. Meanwhile, school materials for 10-year-olds are being published that clearly must be classified as pornographic. The current chairwoman of the Rutgers Supervisory Board is former politician André van Es of the Green Left and the PSP, a party that also advocated legalization of pedophilia. Irrefutably, the Stop World Control report compiles detailed information confirming that Rutgers serves nothing but the agenda of pedophilia and its normalization in society. This is alarming, and every parent in the world should know about this. This explicitly pedophile organization has been chosen by the WHO and the UN to implement its agenda for the sexualization of young children in public schools in 27 nations. Now, one might ask, why is it that governments and financial elite insist on the sexualization of young children in every nation worldwide? The direct result of current sex education, according to the Stop World Control report, is to mentally control children at a very young age so that they become predators, victims, or both.
This agenda brainwashes them so that they see their friends and classmates as object to desire sexually. Their understanding of love will be severely perverted, and they will hardly be able to create a healthy, safe, thriving and happy family. When we understand that the roots of Rutgers and their allies are also found in eugenics, we know why they are pushing this. By destroying the natural family in one sweep, the world's population will in fact be reduced as well. By the way, one of the World Health Organization's top financiers is none other than Bill Gates. KLA TV has already reported more than extensively about his entanglements and misdemeanors. He is different than the Gates portrayed in financially controlled mainstream media. He is not a philanthropist, but a strongly advocating eugenicist.
As can be seen from additional Stop World Control footage, Gates likewise maintained ties to convicted child molester and pedophile ring operator Jeffrey Epstein. So developments like these should only cause horror. Stop World Control ends the extensive report with the following concluding words.
Love is not a sexual predator that preys on children and abuses them for own gratification. To love a child is to protect and not to manipulate him or her into consenting to rape. De Graaf puts it this way. This is not about educating or teaching a child. For these adults who practice sexuality and sex with children, the child is just a tool. The delegate stresses how this harms the child is completely irrelevant to them. It is totally unacceptable that such mentally damaged people run organizations, governments, or institutions that determine what society looks like, and that they abuse a child's development to justify their own deformed desire for child sex.
We all have the choice to turn a blind eye and be complicit by our silence, or to be brave people who stand up and educate humanity by spreading this broadcast, alerting schools, teachers, and educators. Children can't fight back against these monsters, so let's do it for them. In conclusion, it should be noted that on numerous other KLA TV broadcasts, as well as on Stop World Control, detailed, irrefutable facts and footage exposing child abuse, pedophile rings, and ritual murders of children, etc., can be found even about the involvement of the highest ranks of governments and royal houses all over the world. Consequently, this is also a call to the real justice system and criminal police. Your hour has also come. In the end, no one will be able to say that they did not know about this. You'll find the link to Stop World Control's extensive report right here in the credits.